D&D news. JB Metrics, good to see you. The ping to US and EU from New Zealand is equally terrible. That's bad. I'm sorry to hear that, man. What's your ping? So, like, my ping on Sarlona usually is around 20, something like that. And on the Vegas server on Cormare now, it's about 90, 85 to 90. So, like, it got a lot worse. And I'm worried that, like, if for some reason Moonsea became, like, the most popular server, the European one, like, if I had to play over there, my ping would probably be 200. Yeah, exactly. 180 to 220. Like, so that's why I wouldn't even consider Moonsea. Unless it became clear that, like, the entire game population was playing there. Then I probably would move there, but I'm not like doing a lot of raiding, but it would probably like negatively affect my doing like R10s and stuff, you know, having a ping, because if there's any ever packet loss, you know, the people with the high bad pings are going to feel that packet loss first, right? So this is the latest news. I'm not affiliated with this site, but this site like aggregates all of the Dungeons and Dragons news on the internet and like puts it together for us. So like I usually come back and visit this website to see what's going on. We can see things. So the reason we like to check this news is we're looking for new video game news, right? Because we like D&D, we like video games. And so every once in a while we find some good news here. There is a lot of stuff here, though, that doesn't really affect us, but it's sort of interesting for D&D. So I encourage you guys who are D&D fans to, you know, you can check this stuff out on your own. Anybody who's interested in the Dark Horse Dungeons and Dragons comic, I mean, hey, I love comics. I have comic book collection from when I was a kid. I should actually show it to you guys on stream one day, like go through some of them. I have a lot of comics, dude. I don't really have anything super expensive, but I do have some old rare comics. So I do like the idea of it. But it has nothing to do with like DDO or our gameplay. So, I mean, it's just interesting news to talk about. This definitely, though, is something that we could talk about here, because this is about a canceled video game. So this video game, golden age for D&D video games, thanks to the success of Baldur's Gate 3. In fact, as of the writing, there are now almost a dozen D&D video games at various stages of development, both in-house at Wizards of the Coast and at third-party creators. So to Dungeons and Dragons video games, like we are going to definitely see some in the next few years. That's exciting. However, the news on these games, what they're going to be about, the gameplay style, the art style, is usually like kept under wraps. We don't know anything about it, but here's some bad news. One of those games that was in development got canceled. So this game here was Untitled, from a Seattle developer called Hidden Path. The code name for the project was called Project Dante, and it was canceled late 2024. Okay, and then it looks like they took a bunch of the concept art gameplay footage from Project Dante and it got leaked online. So I'm not sure if we can find any of that, but I will, just for giggles, really quickly. And sorry if there's a loud noise here. I'm looking. Okay, yeah, no, that worked out. Let's see if I can find. Project Dante. So I cannot just find some random footage of this. So I'm not sure where these people were talking about, like where this footage was posted. Maybe it was on Reddit or maybe like a subreddit or something like that, but it's not just randomly on YouTube because I couldn't find anything just now, but maybe you guys can. The Hidden Path, untitled D&D video game, third-person action RPG. I mean, that would have been really cool. It was in development for 3 years, man. Oh, bro. That's super sad to hear. Concept art leaked. So yeah, I'll have to look into seeing if I can find any of this concept art for this game. And here's like, this is where all the meat of this news is. What other D&D video games are in the works? Okay, here we go. There is an untitled D&D survival sim that's in development in Montreal. We've talked about this in the past. This is going to play a lot like Ark, or if any of you guys are playing the new Dune MMO that just launched, it's like a survival MMO. Anybody who played Pal World, like that's a survival. There's a few games that are in this genre. The survival genre is very popular, right? So the fact that they're doing a D&D survival sim in the Forgotten Realms, that's super cool. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully, like, it's going to be interesting. Project Baxter, I don't know anything about. Starbreeze Entertainment, they made a shooter called Payday 3. They have an upcoming D&D game called codename Project Baxter that is a co-op multiplayer game. So I mean, maybe somebody is actually making like a shooter style D&D game. It would be interesting if it played like what would it play like? Probably not play like Fortnite, right? It might play like an extraction shooter. Maybe it would play maybe something like Marvel Rivals. We'll just have to see. Like, I'm not sure. Baldur's Gate 4 is definitely not Larian Studios. They are not working on it. Hasbro, as far as I know, is still shopping around to find somebody to make Baldur's Gate 4. That has not been announced yet. Hasbro is making another in-house video game that doesn't have a title, and there isn't much news on it, but that's so they are interested in making another one. Saber Interactive. I have covered this in the past too. Saber Interactive made Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 popped off. People loved it. It was really well received and respected. They did a really good job with it. Like, the game looked beautiful. It had a good gameplay, good story. So the fact that they're working on a D&D game is like a massive W for D&D and gaming, because they may make, if they have as big a success as they had with Space Marine 2, then we could get like a really good banger of a game. So we'll have to see. The problem is we have no, like, this might not come out till like 2028. So like, it's super unfortunate that the life cycle takes so long. I'm really hoping that the success of games like Schedule 1, Pal World, Expedition 33, all these games that popped off that were made by small studios, that have a much shorter life cycle than AAA. You know, the AAA, it can take 5 to 7 years to get a game made, whereas these smaller studios, they can get a game made in like whatever it is, 2 to 3 years, something like that. So hopefully we get to see some of these games sooner than later. Untitled Giant Skull game. I've never heard of this one. New game studio founded in 2023 by video game veterans. That is great, because that's exactly what happened with like Expedition 33. Expedition 33 was founded by a bunch of people from, I want to say it was, off the top of my head, I'm forgetting. I think it was Ubisoft, but I might be wrong. They're using the D&D license. Battlemarked is an upcoming co-op virtual reality RPG game set in D&D. That's really cool. It's going to be tactical turn-based combat for 4 players. So, okay, that's good. And then Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition, a new version of Obsidian. So they're doing a remake, basically like okay, so that's good. So remake of Neverwinter Nights 2 might actually be super cool. So we'll have to see. It's supposed to be releasing next month. PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC is going to see Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition. So we're going to have to keep our eyes out for that. That might be a banger. Who knows? I know that the original Neverwinter Nights did really well. I don't think I ever played 2, but I played the first one. So we'll have to see. So like that's the one we get next month. So if for some reason we have trouble with our transfers in DDO, we'll be able to play Neverwinter Nights 2, and you know, maybe that'll carry us over. And then hopefully in the next few years we hear about what's going to happen with Saber Interactive, Giant Skull, the unnamed Hasbro game. We hear from what's going to happen from Hasbro with Baldur's Gate 4, who's going to make it, what the plan is for that. And then obviously we want to hear more about Project Baxter, and we also want to hear more about this game from Canada that's going to be a survival sim D&D game. That sounds super interesting. So I mean, like, D&D game news wise, that's pretty cool. Hasbro is laying people off. 3%, probably AI is going to be doing that 3%, right? It's just what's happening. AI is causing a lot of people to get laid off nowadays. Here's more layoffs here. Critical Role news, that's great. We love Critical Role. The VP just left Wizards of the Coast. This stuff doesn't really matter to us. Gunslinger class gets the drop on D&D Beyond. All right, so it looks like you can play a gunslinger. Homebrews of gunslingers have always been fun. Classic D&D video game returns after a 20-year hiatus. I'm assuming they're talking about the game we just covered, which is Neverwinter Nights 2. Yeah, that's that. So this is dropping next month. So I mean, I'm probably going to try it out. I'll probably play it. We'll see. We don't need to watch the trailer now, but if you want to check it out, there is a trailer for it. This game is releasing next month, and like I said, it's on all the different consoles. So if you have Xbox, PS4, but it's also going to be on PC, so that's cool. So we'll definitely talk about that next month. When it comes out, especially if I don't know what the price is going to be for it, but if it's reasonable, like if it's $40, then that'll be a massive W for D&D. There was news about something here. A lot of this stuff doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, Dark Sun. I wanted to take a look at this because you guys, if anybody here is a fan of D&D, not just like the video games, but if you play the pen and paper tabletop, you've probably heard of Dark Sun. Dark Sun was like extremely popular. They don't have a ton of content for it, but then it was sort of like people stopped developing it. So here it's been over 15 years since any official Dark Sun product was released, but apparently they are revisiting this because it's a fan favorite. I really like the setting of Dark Sun. I think it's really interesting. It's sort of like a Mad Max meets D&D a little bit. You guys who've played in it know it's like definitely cool. I think they used a lot of elements for the magic apocalypse that happened in Dark Sun. The dude who made Eberron, because there was an apocalypse in Eberron as well, that left the Mournlands. So like he incorporated a little of this wasteland aspect, but the thing about Dark Sun is like that was the entire setting. It was like set in this sort of, post-apocalyptic world. So I always thought it was super cool. So the fact that they are thinking about like updating this and making new content for it means that we we may get some homebrew because DDO is a homebrew. The devs of DDO, they look at all this like pen and paper stuff, and then they think about, well, what can we add to the video game? So you never know, we could get something from Dark Sun. That would be super cool. So there's going to be a player's handbook. There's going to be new stuff, but like I would love. So if they actually released a good psionics class for Dark Sun, I mean, they've been talking about giving us a psionics because we have Kalashtar over here in GDO, right? Because of Eberron. So like, I know that they've been talking about and thinking about psionics for a long time, and they just haven't done it. I personally think they should do it, but this may actually help that out because this is going to codify psionics under the 5e rules, and they may be able to homebrew with that. So like, that's super interesting. I don't think there's going to be anything else here. Like, we don't really care about a VR game, although if you do like VR games, there is one called Battle Mark that's coming out that's worth checking out. I would just recommend taking a look at this. This is the Giant Skull announcement. New D&D game coming from Giant Skull. The game is being developed, co-founded. Oh, it's co-founded by a guy, by Stig Asmundsen. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but served as game director on God of War and Star Wars Jedi. Well, God of War people love, so that's good. That means that this dude like has experience. This person has experience. Star Wars Jedi was okay. That was all right. Not exactly the game style I would like to see for a D&D game, like, but I mean, it was visually beautiful. They don't know anything about the game other than it's going to be a single player action set in the D&D universe. World building and storytelling. So like, we may get something that is like, so from my perspective, if we could get a game that's similar to, like, if you guys ever played, what's that game called? Like, Detroit Become Human. That's like this movie driven narrative, storytelling. That I love that game. So I think that would be super cool for a D&D game. Or, you know, if it's going to be a single player game, obviously Baldur's Gate 3 sort of, you know, like brought us into the stratosphere as far as like what a single player game can do. And now Expedition 33 has like blasted that up even more. So like, they have a lot of potential to do a really, really cool game. Hopefully they do. Giant Skull is a AAA studio too, so that's good. Yes, Jedi Survive. I did play the first one. I didn't do the second one. I just didn't like the it's like a jump puzzle game, and I'm not very good at the jump puzzles. So, but people really like God of War though. That's exciting. Yeah, and we looked at this on it. This is back to news that we covered the last time we covered some news. So, exciting stuff.
Tell me where the treasure's hid. I heard there's a dragon and a wizard. It's what we love about video games, the most fun ever. Baby, let's play, baby, let's play. Monster swarm, a raging storm. What adventure awaits a hero's fate? It's what we love about video games, the most fun ever. Baby, let's play, baby, let's play. Where's the treasure? Mary, hey, la la la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yep, I'm coming through, ain't no stopping me. Got the mic in my hands, set the stage on fire, watch me. I got the rhymes that'll make you move, make you groove. Yeah, I'm the real deal, the one you can't outdo. Yep, that's how it goes. When I step on the mic, everybody knows. Yep, I'm in control. I'll bring the heat, baby, watch me explode. Tell me where the treasure's here. I heard there's a dragon in the wizard. It's what we love about video games, the most fun ever. Baby, let's play, baby, let's play. Oh, where's the treasure? Mary,